lessons from many different people on how we can be more effective and successful on LinkedIn. Today, we're not going to disappoint. We're going to teach you a principle, this simple idea. I mean, it's so basic, but this is able to help you generate more real appointments with those ideal customers. You're going to really like it. That's all I'm telling you about it right now. Listen up and check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're talking to a friend of ours, Jon James. And he runs this agency and helps clients, people like you and me, to be able to generate more leads, more appointments. And what he's doing, one of these strategies he's going to share with you today. This is a strategy that he's using on LinkedIn. And it's working, and it's working. I want you to listen up. I want you to try it. But the concept is called Ask Me Anything. He's going to share with you how he's doing that, break it down for you, and give you the tools so you can use it and see the same results. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive in and listen to his exciting, awesome strategy. Jon, welcome to the show, man. I'm excited to have you.
Donald, nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. I remember when we first met because we both work with a mutual client of ours. A big shout out to Debbie. And Debbie was telling me, Donald, you got to meet Jon. You got to meet Jon. And I was like, all right, if Debbie says I got to meet Jon, I got to meet Jon. And I met Jon. I was like, okay, she's right. I got to meet Jon. It was a cool guy. So I'm excited for you to come here today.
Likewise.
Yeah, man. And
Thank you, man. I'm super excited to be here. Oh, go for
yeah.
it.
No, man, I'm saying, yeah, definitely, and I'm glad. I'm stoked to have you because of this reason. Like, I know you're going to come and deliver a ton of value today, Jon. The concept is we're focusing on LinkedIn, and many sellers, all of us watching this today, listening to this, we're thinking about how can we take advantage of LinkedIn. And the problem that we find is that we just don't know how to best do so. So all of these episodes, we are gleaming from these experts. So I put you in that pool of the experts. We want to glean from you today on how we can do better with our LinkedIn, get more appointments.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So, Jon, tell us a little bit more about you. I mean, I bragged about you in the teaser there a little bit, but tell us a little bit more about what you do and why am I so excited to have Jon on the podcast?
Absolutely.
If somebody's listening today.
So I'm Jon James, the CEO of Ignited Results, and we're a digital marketing agency in Reno, and our specialty is actually leveraging LinkedIn so that you have more sales opportunities, right? So we work with our clients and help them do their marketing on LinkedIn to get more key meetings with prospects. And once they're in those meetings, obviously the sales evangelist, you've already taught them how to close, but our job is to more so help them use LinkedIn to actually get those meetings.
See, that's the critical piece. I feel like, well, I won't have given answers yet, but I want to get from you. Why do you feel so many sellers and entrepreneurs, and quite frankly, with that, have such a hard time with converting, or with LinkedIn in general? Let's just start with the basic. Why do they have such a tough time with LinkedIn to generate business?
I think the reason people have a tough time with it is they're not clearly identifying who they're connecting to, number one. That's going to be, the driver in terms of who you end up on a call with, or even having the opportunity to ask someone for a call. I often see that people are just connected all across the board, and you've got to start with good targeting. So I always, if I'm not jumping in too deep,
Let's do this.
what I recommend for everyone is to have Sales Navigator. Have Sales Navigator. The first month is free through LinkedIn, so you can kind of get your feet wet. After that, there's a small investment, but it is worth its weight in gold because through Sales Navigator, you're able to actually target the types of people who can be ideal prospects. If you're looking to break into the C-suite, you can do it through LinkedIn, but you got to have Sales Navigator. If you're looking to target women only, we're seeing a lot of that right now where there's gender targeting. You can do that through Sales Navigator. If you want to target teams or companies that have a certain employee count or a revenue mark, you can do that. So that's where I would start, is signing up for Sales Navigator, Don't be afraid to just play around with the free version and build out your lead list. And once you have that created, you're almost ready at that point to start doing some outreach.
So, one of the things you kind of hit on there that you alluded to it, is this idea that you're, to invest in yourself when it comes towards LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I can tell you when I first saw the price, I was like, man, am I going to spend that much for software? Am I going to use it individually? But like you said, it's worth its weight in gold. I
Absolutely.
cannot tell. It is like, when I look at it now, I'm like, why did I even think like that before? Because
Yeah.
the money that I've generated from using my LinkedIn, it's like, it's a no-brainer actually when it comes
Hmm.
towards taking advantage of Sales Navigator as a tool. So
It is.
no, keep going,
I mean,
keep going there, John. Your
there are
thought.
many businesses out there. They completely rely on having Sales Navigator and leveraging LinkedIn. For example, we do a lot of hiring through a staffing agency.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with the CEO of the staffing agency about 3 months ago, and he goes, I love what you guys are doing. I see that you're growing and expanding and hiring more people. He said, it makes sense because 100% of our lead gen comes from LinkedIn.
Interesting.
And it blew me away. He said, now he went through some trial and error. He didn't have a
Hmm.
firm that he could kind of outsource to. But he said, hey, it took us 6 months to really figure it out and dial it in. He said, but after that, that's our number one way that we find companies that we go and place staffing for them. So it's very important if you're a small business, especially. Uh, LinkedIn is literally a way to launch your company or to go from being that solo entrepreneur to scaling into a team of maybe 5 to 6 people. LinkedIn will help you do that.
So true, man. All right. So, and I'm loving this. One of the things I always joke about, John, is like I see people sometimes use LinkedIn kind of like their Pokemon card. And as we are talking, I was like, I got to do a piece of content on it. So I'm going to do a LinkedIn post on it this week. But
Yeah.
so often it's like Pokemon cards. Let me just see if I can collect a bunch of people, but you collect them, but they don't convert or they don't actually matriculate into anything. How do we make this happen now? What do I need to do? I'm making connections with people. My profile is good. I've worked on that and so forth. Now I'm to the point where I'm a sales rep and I'm thinking, John, give me the answer. I want it. What do I do? How do I
Absolutely,
make sure it happens?
absolutely, absolutely. So, so first we've built out our list of leads, right? We've got our
Yeah.
targets in Sales Navigator. The thing that should be done next is before you actually start the outreach, take a
Uh,
look at that profile and make sure that it's tight.
mm,
The big areas to focus on are number one, the headline message,
yeah.
your headshot, and your background image. So,
Mm,
in the headline, you really want to have a client facing headline. This is the number one reason people actually don't accept a connection request. Okay. Or if you're already connected, uh, this is one of the bigger reasons people don't convert and turn into a meeting when you request a meeting. So you want to make sure you have a really great headline. And I'll give
hmm.
you some nuggets for the headline really quick. We often see the job titles, and that's fine. You want to show some authority, but I would go, have your professional credentials there or your job title. Next, have a client facing solution statement, right? Maybe a one liner. I help such and such with such and such. Okay.
Mm,
Tell people how you help them and how you do it. So that's a really quick USP or a solution statement. And then you
yeah.
can follow that with something personal. This is what people don't do, and it's a biggie. If you have the last section of your headline on LinkedIn, and it says, I like to ride horses, or mine says I consume lots of green tea and meditation. What happens is the people that reach out to you or respond to your outreach on LinkedIn will make comments based on that personal thing that they see inside of your headline. So here's what's happening. This is persuasion, okay? Because what's taking place is before you get on the Zoom call with that person, you have already established rapport.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh,
already teeing up the call because they're sending me messages going, John, I like green tea too. What's your favorite? John, I meditate too. What kind of meditating do you do? And when I get those messages, I'm responding to them, having a little dialogue, and then boom, moving them into a one-to-one call. But we already have rapport, and there some persuasion has already taken place prior to having that Zoom call.
ooh, persuasion. I need to borrow that. Man, that's such a powerful concept, though. And I'm thinking about mine. I know I have staycation addict like at the end of mine, but I think one of the cool things is like, what else do I like to do? I don't know, I love barbecue. Maybe I should probably try to put some stuff in there barbecue and see if I can. People love barbecue, man. Come on, man. So
Right, right.
interesting. I like it.
So, so I'll go a step further because
Yeah.
you asked a question and I kind of answered it with the question, or but before we hit the meetings, it's like
Yeah.
let's hit the profile. So
Yeah.
we've done two things so far. We've talked about Sales Navigator and targeting, and then sprucing up the profile a bit at least with the headline. And
Hmm.
so now, when you conduct the outreach, there are lots of different ways to frame your messages so
Hmm.
that they're effective and they're not over spammy or too salesy. And I can give you a quick framework. And DK, this is for you because and your audience because this
Yes.
is something we save for our intensives. And we have one coming up on the 9th and 10th. So this is something we save. But I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. The way you want to construct your messages on LinkedIn
Hmm.
so that you actually get people to talk to you and you stand out from the other 10 million people that are hitting them up, right?
Yeah.
You can write down these four words: hook,
Sure.
relate, bridge, and call to action. Hook, relate, bridge, and call to action.
Okay.
So that's the way you want to structure your messages. And I know that's pretty technical, but at the same time, I want to provide real value and put some meat on the bone for your
Oh yeah.
audience. So the hook is basically, mention their name and their industry.
Mm.
So it's, hey, Tommy, I see you're in HR, right?
Okay.
So it's very personal. And then you want to relate with that person. Hey, Tommy, I see you're in HR. Listen, I'll cut to the chase. I'm sure you're dealing with plenty of issues from the 500 plus employees that you manage.
And that's
That's how
easy. You
we're
can find
relating.
that stuff. Right. Simple.
Right, right. That's all of those details about that person are going to be in Sales Navigator. But here's what we just did that's different from everyone else. We didn't pitch, right? We related to what that person is going through in their day, possibly in that very moment. Hey, Tommy, I see you're in HR. That's the hook. Now we want to relate.
Yeah.
I'll cut to the chase. I'm sure you're very busy managing, dealing with the 500 plus employees in your organization. Okay, so we're relating, and now we bridge. Listen, here's why I reached out to you. Um, I offer an online, this happened last week. I offer an online dance program for your employees. It helps them get the body moving, the energy moving. I know they may be working from home. Um, if you'd like to have a quick chat, I can offer a free session for your organization. Okay, so this was one we did recently, about a week ago, where this lady offers online dance, and she's reaching out to HR so that she can offer dance to people who work inside of the company,
Yeah.
and that helps increase employee morale. So there was one more thing we added in there, and I'll share this super quick because these are the creative ways that people can use LinkedIn, and they
Hmm.
don't do this. Uh, you can target people based on their psychographic profile as well. So in this lady's case, we created a list in Sales Navigator targeting HR who indicated through their profile that they were interested in yoga.
What?
Yes. And so she's mentioning that in her outreach and the messaging, and she's mentioning that in the meetings. and it puts her in such deep rapport because that list went from like, thousands of people down to a few hundred people, but it's hyper targeted.
Yeah.
And think about it. A person in HR who practices yoga would be
Done.
open to dance inside of the company. Done deal.
Wow. Wow, bro, that's like eye opening there. I mean, I didn't think about stuff like that before. I think about like the surface level stuff, like HR, sales manager, sales director. But thinking about this stuff, imagine even for one of our programs, we do mindset. Like, there's probably some other ways that I can do sales managers that have or VPs of sales or whatnot. Tying back to that, mind blown. Love it.
Right, right. Like if you do mindset, you can target salespeople and sales managers,
Yeah.
but they might indicate through their profile that they're into a certain type of meditation. Um, you can think of some famous, gurus, for lack of a better word, and they
Yeah.
might mention that. Like they might mention Bob Proctor in their
Yeah.
profile, that they've had Bob Proctor training. If you're hitting a sales manager who's had Bob Proctor training and you want to talk about mindset, that list is golden.
Look at that. Look at that. This is worth its. If you all are not listening and taking notes from the stuff John's giving you, you're missing out. John, this is great. Oh, love it, man. Love it. Now, John, there's another question I have for you.
Sure.
The this part, you told me I can ask you this. You told me I can ask you anything.
Yes. Right, right. So, a strategy that we use for many of our clients is we have them create what's called an AMA, an Ask Me Anything
Yeah.
video, and they're super cool because the number one metric that you want to judge on LinkedIn is conversations. That's the number one
Yes.
metric, and conversations come from engagement.
Yes.
And Ask Me Anything or AMA videos are a really great way to create conversation. So that's where you create a video for your audience and you basically tell them, hey, DK here, ask me anything you want to know. Ask me anything you want to know about sales or converting, different techniques for persuasion. If there's something nagging you about how you're not closing deals, hit the button below and ask me, right? And if they're using a platform like Video Ask or something like that, it allows people to click a button and ask you through Video Ask, and you're having these asynchronous conversations. And DK, you already know if someone responds, the next thing you're going to do is give a response to them and then drive them towards a meeting or a product that you have.
Dude, so simple, so powerful. But I can tell you that many people are not taking advantage of it. They're not doing that.
Right,
And I
right.
love that idea of, to ask me anything. Like, and this works no matter what industry you're in, right?
Right, and to your point about people not doing it, you're probably competing with 1 to 2% of your of people that are in your space are actually doing this, and probably don't want you to know that they're doing it 9 times out of 10, right? So if you start doing it, you're going to get results.
Oh man, so powerful. You mind telling me any stories that you have, any clients that has taken advantage of this or seen some, amazing results from this?
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. One person comes to mind. She's a lawyer, and it was like pulling teeth at first to get her to actually do the Ask Me Anything video, and she did it, and quite frankly, she shut it down in about 6 days because she got so many responses. She
No
goes, you know
kidding.
what? I don't even know what just happened. This happened in a week. And so, quite honestly, she had to get herself together. And about a week later, she reached back out there again with her AMAs. But she used it and actually converted appointments. It took her 2 weeks it took her a week to get appointments on her calendar for the following week. And in that following week, she was already closing deals. And we're talking in less than 2 weeks turnaround time from launching her first AMA video. And that's really powerful, especially for her because she's high ticket.
So if you did something like, just going back to this, sounds like a lawyer saying she reached out to some folks, she made genuine connection, and then in the reply she's saying something about, hey, so and so, blah blah blah, and then, oh, by the way, you can ask me anything, and a video is sent, or
Okay, so with her, she made a video, and her video said, "Ask me anything about," and she named a few topics. So she specializes in cross border. If you're moving here from a different country, she can help you get like an EB-5, which is a special investor visa program,
yeah,
and other things. So it's complicated, and people have lots of questions about that.
oh
So
yeah,
she basically said, ask me anything you want to know about cross border, about, the EB-5 program, about, she listed a few different things, and people started responding with questions. As soon as she got questions about her services, she made a video back to them and said, here's the answer to your question. By the way, if you want to know more, here's my calendar link for a consultation.
boom, that is awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, you just got told the process. Now, I know you guys do this for other people. Do you mind talking about that, John, a little bit? And because I can tell you that many salespeople, the idea of they got excited for this, but then the thought of lifting it is like, that's too much. I don't know if I have the bandwidth. Or a sales manager listening to this saying it'll be great for my team. I don't know if I can get them to do this on their own. How do you guys help organizations?
Yeah, so it's someone, a sales manager in that situation, we could help them primarily one of two ways. We can train his team,
Hmm.
and that might be, 1 or 2 day intensive, or we might spread that out over several weeks to help kind of keep that team accountable. So we
Yeah,
can train the team, or they can outsource to us where we're running the entire program for them
yeah,
behind the scenes. So we're building the list, we're doing the outreach, we're creating the content and things of that nature. Of course, when it comes to the videos, they're going to make their own,
yeah.
but we would assist them with that.
Oh man, shoot. Well, if somebody's listening to this and they want to get a hold of you, they want to take advantage of this, how did they go about doing it, John?
They can find me at ignitedresults.com. That's IGNITED results.com. Also, hit me up on LinkedIn. So just type in John James Ignited Results. You'll find me there.
One last advice you would give to them out of everything that we talk about, if there's one major takeaway they should take from this episode, what's that one major piece of advice?
The big thing is, don't be afraid to just try and just do it. Fear holds a lot of people back, because they
Mm,
go, I don't know what to say, even if it's a written message. I don't know what to say. And if it's video, I don't know what to say. So that framework that I gave you is literally worth thousands of dollars. And the reason I say that is because that's what we charge in our boot camps where we teach that. So use that framework and you're going to know what to say. You're going to stand out from the crowd and your outreach is going to be very powerful.
done and done. Well, John, I appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom for taking the time to come on our show today. Thank you. Thank you for bringing so much value to us. And I wish you
Absolutely.
great
Thank you for
success
having me.
anytime, man. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only Jon James. And if you want to connect with John, you can find him on LinkedIn, obviously. You can also connect with him via his website. And we have all the information down below in the link. If you're watching this on TSC TV and you haven't subscribed as of yet, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That would mean the world to us. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, or wherever, please go ahead and subscribe as well and rate this podcast. It would mean a lot to us to get that. Folks come in after you, they see it, and it just helps to elevate the podcast so others can recognize that it's of value as well. Now, check out our sponsors as well. If you haven't done so, they are giving some amazing gifts for you all, and they're giving you some offers which you need to take advantage of, please. You can find that information in the show notes, as well as you can find it on our website. Now, connect with my good friend John. Start trying this strategy, and I promise you, you're going to see results as well. As always, I want you to find more of those ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to go out each and every single day and do big things. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.